Okay, Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Happy to have with us Ian the Mega Geek. Wanted to
Hello.
do a little bit earlier stream because it's late over there for him, and I'm usually in
Yeah.
bed by that time
Wow.
because I'm usually up at 5 in the morning.
Oh.
So my body's lucky if it'll stay up past 9:30.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
can't afford to stay up to 9:30 these days because everything on TV. I remember when I was a kid, if something was on at 9:30, you'd have to wait till it came on at 9:30. Now you can just record it or watch it
well,
later.
that was the thing. That was the thing that was nice about growing up in Central Time, where I'm at now. I went
Mm.
to seminary in Eastern Time, which is like the latest in America. So, like the show that would come on before the nightly news would be on at 10 p.m. and then the
Yeah.
nightly news would be at 11. Where in Central Time it's 9 and then 10, and then Johnny Carson would be on at 10:30. So,
Mm.
but we're here to do my review of Time to Die. Time to
or
Die.
or
Um, I uploaded a video. It's like a 12-second clip, basically describing how I felt. Maybe 30 minutes into it.
so you did like it then?
It's like, oh dear heavens, that thing was long, boring, drawn out.
It
Oh
wasn't.
dear.
As I said in Dan's stream, it wasn't a bad film. It was just mismanaged badly. The script is not very good, and the reason why
Right.
certain things are in there is because of modern day politics. And obviously, if you don't want spoilers, tune out now. But Bond dies at the end, and that's the biggest crime this
Well,
film has
heck,
done.
in the title card, I put spoilers, so obviously there's going to be
Yeah,
spoilers in this.
yeah,
The thing is, okay, so and if you watched Gary's stream just a little bit ago, you know that Bond
mm,
died.
yeah,
I would say that if this was the very last of the franchise, then yeah, that might have been a good ending. I mean, the way for Bond to go out, I mean, the idea that they have wife, potential wife, offspring, and he's sacrificing himself because he won't ever get to be with them again. But the one thing I did like, there are things I did like about this movie, and I loved the connection with on Her Majesty's Secret Service, because
mm,
when he's talking to M, you can hear the theme in the background playing from On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
mm,
And then, of course, at the end, they end with Louis Armstrong's All the Time in the World, which is what On Her Majesty's Secret Service ended with.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's. I think I'm gonna have to cleanse my palate with like Moonraker.
Well, I was so upset about the movie. I brought Living Daylights, Goldeneye, and Tomorrow Never Dies, just to get the horrible taste out of my mouth of this film. I I,
Well, I
I
mean,
honest no,
no,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
I honestly truly think that this film is basically an insult to fans of James Bond everywhere. And you say that you would have been happy if this was the end of the thing. I wouldn't have been happy. What is wrong with a happy ending? What is wrong with James Bond getting married, having a kid, and living? Because how many times has he saved the world? He deserves it, right? To
True,
actually throw
true.
this in our face because of modern times and current year and whatever, however you want to put it. Because I am totally convinced that's why they did it, right? To do that is basically again upsetting the fan base, and so this is what we have to deal with now with all our
But the
heroes.
thing is, with everything that going through the whole 2 hours and 45 minutes,
Mm,
which I still can't believe how long the movie was. Um, I don't know. I was left indifferent really at the end.
yeah.
Now, I had never saw Spectre, so I mean, I didn't realize until reading some of the reviews that Blofeld was Bond's half brother, which I'd like to know how in
Stupid.
the world how they pulled that off, especially with Blofeld in the 60s and 70s.
No, it's basically the look. That they hasn't been a James Bond film since, as far as I'm concerned, since Casino Royale. there's no bits in any of the films that preceded where, like for instance, I give an example, Goldeneye, when the tank smashes through the wall and you have the James Bond theme because it's typical James Bond and it's action. There's no things
Yeah,
like that in any of the Craig films. And
right.
why? I mean, I understand that they want to get away from the campy thing and stuff like that. Yes, but you can find the balance between them both, because without the gadgets, without the fun, it's not a James Bond film. And these last four films that's gone, I did like Spectre, to tell you the truth, but these last four films that
Oh,
have
that's
actually
right.
gone before us, they're really not James Bond films at all. They're basically action films because it has no the traits of
Yeah,
having James Bond. It's all gone.
yes, I'll agree with that. I mean, I did enjoy Skyfall, although
Mm.
it didn't really. Now that you, I mean, according to that, it didn't really feel like a Bond movie. But I
No, it
mean, I
wasn't.
enjoyed the movie as a whole.
Yeah, because it's an action film, isn't it? And it said the reason why Casino Royale is so good because you had a veteran James Bond director, Martin Campbell, that was directing it. So he directed the first Pierce Brosnan film. So he was responsible for bringing Pierce Brosnan into the world as James Bond, and then they obviously asked him again to bring Daniel Craig into the world. So he knows exactly what he's doing. And Casino Royale, even though it didn't have the gun barrel in the beginning, it had one foot in the James Bond that we know, and another foot in something new, like Born Identity. So it was a good balance there. And at the ending, when he says, "My name is Bond, James Bond," when he shoots Mr. White in the legs in Casino Royale, when I was there, the audience cheered. And that was the last time the audience actually
It's been
smiled
a
and
long time
cheered.
since I've seen.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't know if you noticed there was something in the very beginning of the movie that stuck out to me when they do the little Bond theme and he's walking and he shoots.
yeah, no
You
blood.
notice?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh no, my battery thing's saying recharged. We'll go as long as we can. But did you notice how there's no blood?
Yeah, I
Because
noticed.
usually every time they shoot, there's blood and then the camera goes zigzagging. This time
Yeah,
there was none of that.
yep. Why?
That stood out.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? I don't
I
know
mean,
why
it's
though.
like otherwise, why have it that way?
Exactly. It's because of modern times, isn't it? It's because of current year.
But
That's why they've got it.
I'll say the other thing. There were a few things that did bother me greatly. Well, first, I was sitting in front of this middle-aged couple, older than myself, and they were
Mm,
kind of joking at the some of the bad puns and everything. And it's like, oh, come on, it's not even that funny. But the
mm.
thing that really irked me was, I think it was they took the Lord's name in vain 2, 3 times, and they dropped an F bomb,
Yeah, they did.
which
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever done that in a Bond movie before.
Well, they did. They did it in Skyfall. M says that it drops an F bomb, doesn't she, in
Okay.
Skyfall?
But the
So
Lord's name, I don't remember them ever using the Lord's name.
because this is current year, this is what they're
Yeah,
doing.
and I
You
didn't care
know,
for that.
I didn't care
Um,
for it either.
the other, I'm just looking at some of my notes.
Mm.
It took them long enough to get to the credits.
20 minutes.
Now, I will
Why?
say that the grave exploding did get my attention because I wasn't expecting that, or maybe I should have. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
but what did you think of the theme?
It's crap. Sorry, but it's just rubbish. The theme is rubbish. I don't like it at all. As I said, right. This is look. This is not my world anymore. It's whoever. It's all this new generation's world. And if that's how they want to proceed with entertainment, then good luck to them. Because if they want to proceed this way of entertainment, I look. I go to see a Bond film to enter the world of fantasy. If I wanted to see realism, I look out my window. Do you know what I mean? And this is
Mm-hmm.
what they're trying to make Bond to be more realistic. There's no reason for him to be realistic at all. That's not James Bond. But everybody will disagree. Barbara Broccoli obviously
Mm-hmm.
disagrees with me. But
Yeah,
the script is terrible. Father, the script is terrible.
yeah.
All right. So she'll just go through it, right? So the black girl that plays 007,
Oh,
the new
you were
double oh
right.
7
You were right. You
Mm.
take her out and you wouldn't miss her.
No, you wouldn't, and she doesn't
And
even
I think
add
you'd
to the
enjoy
script.
it even more. I mean, it's just her whole attitude was like nails on the chalkboard for me.
Yeah, but she didn't add anything to the script or take away
No, she
anything
didn't.
from the script. She's pointless. But this is the
Yeah,
thing. When I was talking to Dan and Keith about it, they were like, "Oh, you're jumping at shadows and stuff like that." And I'm thinking to myself, well, you can't be that blind, surely, and not to know this is what's happening in our films now.
yeah.
And they say, "Oh, it's meant to demonstrate the passing of time." Okay, if that's the case, then why isn't it a white male playing the new 007?
Yeah, that's
So,
I got the trailer queued up just
yeah.
without the sound. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is Scepter parts, right? Or is that Casino?
I can't see it because it all I get is frozen pictures when I
Oh,
play stuff.
that's right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I won't.
this
I,
is this
I
is
won't
yeah.
even play it then because I keep forgetting
That's
StreamYard sucks.
but yeah, it really annoys me that this is where the way things are going these days, and this is the kind of entertainment. As I said, I never had to question going to the cinema before all this stuff started happening to see a film, a Marvel film. As I said, I haven't even seen Shang-Chi and Ten Rings, whatever it's called,
I
because
haven't
of
seen
this
that.
basic fact. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't want to come out the cinema feeling depressed or upset, or so I don't go
Well,
now.
as you saw on Twitter, I basically said I'm about to sacrifice 2 hours and 45 minutes of my life I'll never get back. And I did get fortified by liquid courage, and
Yeah.
that didn't even help.
You know what, right? They could have easily fixed that film. They could have got rid of the new 007. It wouldn't have made any difference to the story. They could have literally uh, got rid of most of the talking because it was dull. The 20 minutes in the beginning with what's her name as a child, they could have easily taken that out or made it shorter.
Or trim
I
it.
would, or yeah, trim it. I would have come in with Bond and his girlfriend. I would never have come in with that bit in the beginning.
So
Um,
then do the girl thing as a little flashback later on.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't, and also, if they put all this rubbish in it, and you can tell the I think it's the woman that actually wrote bits. You can tell her bits compared to the rest of the script because her
Phoebe
bits didn't
Wallace
make any sense.
Bridges.
Yeah, yeah, it didn't make any sense. And the girl that was in Cuba, she should have been the main Bond girl. So I would have got rid of.
Yeah, she was good. I liked her.
She was good. So if you're gonna have another double O, why not have someone really incredibly sexy and is for Bond rather than put him down and say I'll put a bullet in the other knee, the one that works, and all that crap. Why have that? That's what they did.
Garbage with the comment. Yeah, that's why I basically called it "Time to Die." Where was his other comment? Quoting Moonraker, a little. Oh, I think he might have deleted it. Bond coming in for. Oh no, there it is. Bond attempting re-entry.
Yeah. As I
Now,
said, we haven't seen a Bond film in ages. Put it that way.
well, as Gary said, and I agree with him. I mean, it doesn't feel like there's been a Bond film since Pierce.
Um, uh, I guess the last few Pierce ones were terrible. Um, they were really just churning them out at that moment in time. But Pierce deserved better. And I remember somebody said, "Oh, he's the cookie cutter Bond." Rubbish. Pierce Brosnan was born to play Bond, and the first time you see him in GoldenEye in his suit when he walks into the office, you just look at him and you go, "That's Bond." Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? That is, and same thing with Timothy Dalton as well. When I saw Dalton, I thought, "Yeah, that guy's Bond."
I'll be honest. I haven't seen one of his movies from start to finish.
I would recommend Living Daylights. He's really that film is a really good film. The middle's
Is
kind
that
of
the one? Is that the one with Wayne Newton as a drug dealer or something?
no. Living Daylights is the one with uh, it's the first Dalton film. It's the first one
Okay.
he did with the celloist and he had to assassinate the
Well, like you
girl
said,
and everything.
I haven't seen
All
it.
right. It's good. It's good. He's really good in it. I mean, he was doing a Craig before Craig had appeared on the scene. So his idea of James Bond was to try and be closer to the novel. So in Living Daylights, he smokes. He slaps what you call it? He slaps Moneypenny's bum at one point, and he's James Bond. He's James Bond. He looks like James Bond, and he is James Bond in that film, and that
Wait,
film
so
was really good.
he
I
slapped her
think
bum
so.
in the
Yeah.
book or the movie? Was it the
No,
book or the movie?
no, in the movie, because
Okay.
there's this bit in it where she says to him, "Well, James, if you want to come, because you talked about records," and she said, "James, if you want to come round my house and listen to my Barry Manilow Barry Manilow record," she says to him, and I think he does. He adjusts her glasses, and then I think he taps her on the bum. I think so. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I know he adjusts her glasses. But she's obviously pining for him, because he's a good looking Arnold. He was a
Well,
good looking man.
that's the whole Moneypenny relationship. I mean, it was
Yeah,
her
yeah.
always wanting Bond.
I don't mind. I don't mind what they did with Pierce because, the girl that played Moneypenny there, obviously they made a statement saying, I don't wait at home waiting for James Bond to come and get me, blah blah blah, and it was the times that we were moving in, but they didn't.
That's it, right? And that's
They
the
didn't
thing that
stop
kind of
Bond
drove
being
me nuts
Bond.
with. Well, that's what drove me nuts with Lashana Lynch's comments. Basically,
Yeah.
it's like, how do you put up with him or something? It's like, it's kind of like Austin Powers coming back from the 60s into the 90s. And I think Elizabeth Hurley, is it?
Elizabeth
Was in
Hurley,
it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she's like trying to understand him.
yeah. But as I said, so let's figure out what she did. She actually meets him in Jamaica, doesn't she? And
Right.
she pretends to be a Jamaican, and she says, "I'll give you a lift." She gives him a lift back to where he lives. Then she basically tells him to stay in his lane, right? And she leaves, and then
You
he
see,
decides.
the problem with that is we already know what she is. So I mean, the fact that she's interacting with him is not a surprise or anything.
No, but what I'm saying is that she says that, and then James Bond decides to help Felix Leiter.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right. But if you took that out, you could have just had James Bond come to the conclusion to help Felix Leiter because Felix Leiter is his friend, right? So she wasn't really needed. And then the next time we see her is when he's helping Felix Leiter to collect the Russian scientist, and she's trying to collect the Russian scientist, and obviously they're battling to have him. If you took that scene out, and James Bond and the Cuban girl had got the Russian scientist, she would have made no difference to the story. It would have made no difference. Yeah. And then the next time we see her is when he goes to the office to talk to M about what's happening, and she's just there because she's part of the thing and she wasn't allowed in the office. If you took that out, it wouldn't have made any difference either. And then the next time we see her, you get my drift, right? The next time we see her, there's no point. Yeah. There's absolutely no point of her being in the film, only to put Bond down when she can. But then again, Bond did get the upper hand on her all the time. But there was no need. Even when he attacked the base, it could have been the Cuban girl that helped him. Because she had a reason to be there to help him get the Russian scientist. Lord knows why they dropped her after 10 minutes and carried on with the other girl. Because if you are going to introduce someone like that, then she should have been helping him all the way. And then you drop the Cuban girl. But the Cuban girl was bait and switch, wasn't it? Because she was all the posters. When you watch the film, she's only in it for 10 minutes. The best looking girl in the whole film. That's a true Bond girl. And I know she hates that term, but I love that term. And girls should be proud of it.
I'll be honest, Bond girl. I mean, I thought the other girl was, I mean, not Lashana, but the other one with the daughter was, I mean, I thought she was good looking.
Yeah, but she was moping all the time. So Keith said to me, okay, so Keith said to me, she's basically the Diana Rigg of this film. But I would argue that Diana Rigg was like Bond. She kicked ass, she shot people, and even at the ending, in the climax, she beat up a couple of guards and stuff just to get to Bond. But this girl didn't do anything. All she did was mope. Well,
she did shoot a few people.
Yeah, but she had to, didn't she? Because it was her child she was trying to protect. Yeah. But as I'm saying, but Tracy was a true ass kicking, Bond girl, wasn't she? She was cool under pressure. You can't say that this girl was cool under pressure. She was always crying all the time, wasn't she? So, and it just didn't make any sense.
What happened to the little girl after she's pulled from the ice? I mean, does she go get raised by the
Saffron?
for the Freddie Mercury guy.
Yeah, Saffron, his name is. I don't know.
So
You see,
that
that's another
wasn't
hole in the
answered.
plot. No, it wasn't. That's a hole in the plot. And then he comes and he goes, "I want you to do me a favor," and then the scene is cut. It should have been, "I want you to do me a favor." She says no. Then he says, "I know you've got a child. She will die if you don't do it." And then that gives her a reason to do it. But you didn't get that in the film. All you got was her
Right.
crying. And the next thing you know, she's helping him. And it's like, well, come on. I mean, and also, we didn't even know this guy was a billionaire, did we? Because we saw him in the beginning, and then we see him in the room, about to be analysed because she's a psychiatrist, isn't she? And that's all we know about him. And the next thing you know, he's got this huge base in an island. Do you know what I mean? So the script is really flawed, but people are too busy looking at the fireworks to look at what the script is doing.
Well, and it's so bloated.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So
I mean,
I do. I mean, I like the bit in the forest where the cars were chasing him and stuff. I thought that was quite a good scene. And I like the beginning sequence, but unfortunately the trailers spoilt it for us with the bike going up the wall and the car after him. If they didn't show us any of that stuff, that would have been the highlight of the film.
Honestly, I think as I was watching that part, I'm thinking I'm just seeing the whole trailer again. Because that pretty much was all in the trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. And it shouldn't have been. It should not have been. What's the highlight of Spy Love Me? When he skis off the cliff and he opens the parachute and it's got the Union Jack and the James Bond theme comes up really hard and strong, and you're in the audience and you're laughing. That's the highlight. I'm
trying to remember. Is that the one with Topol?
No, Spy Love Me is the one with the car that goes underwater.
Okay. Which one was Topol in?
That was a For Eyes Only.
It's kind of hard to keep them straight. It's hard to remember which one is which. But I mean, that was the thing. I think I saw all of them up until Octokitty.
Octopussy.
I'm not going to say that.
I know you're not. But I mean, as I said, what? Go on. I mean, the highlights.
I never saw View to Kill, or at least I saw bits of it.
View to a Kill is not a very good one. It's okay because it was Roger's last one, and he was very old in that film, and obviously he was saying to the producers, "Look, it won't be right for me to sleep with anyone because I'm this old. I mean, I'm old enough to be their dads, basically." And he knew that was the last one. He knew he had to go. In fact, the one before that he wanted to go, but they persuaded him one more time to do one, and that's when he did View to a Kill was his last one. But as I said, if you look at all the Bond films carefully, there's always a highlight in those films that highlight. And as I said, in the Craig era, there isn't really any at all, apart from Casino Royale with the guy jumping and stuff. That was great. As I said, one leg in the old Bond, one leg in the new Bond, that one. But then they went full Bourne Identity with the rest of them. And it just wasn't, as far as I was concerned, it wasn't a Bond movie.
I mean, the things I remember from GoldenEye is the jumping off the dam.
Oh yeah, that was the highlight,
and the driving of the tank through the wall.
Yeah, so as I'm saying, every Bond film has a highlight of action that you can say, "Wow, that was great." And the tank scene, they shot bits of it in England, and they shot bits of it in Russia for that scene. It's very well done.
Max, I have watched a lot of pre-Craig Bond. It's just been a long time since I've seen it. Just mostly because I was making a point of it back in the 90s to collect as many of the VHS tapes as I could, because I don't know if you guys ever had Blockbuster Video or not.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so they used to have their secondhand VHSs on sale.
Yep.
And every now and then there would be a Bond set and I would pick it up. But then when DVDs came out, it's like, okay, VHSs are kind of pointless, and this is before you could transfer it onto a DVD.
Yeah.
I didn't keep a lot of my VHSs.
Yeah, I mean, I threw most of my VHSs away. I'm pretty upset that I did that. The only VHS I've got left is the Indiana Jones saga. I've still got that on VHS, and I'll never chuck that away because I love Indiana Jones. But I've got most of the James Bond films on DVD. And I've got now I'm going to try and do a Blu-ray collection of them now because it's coming out on what is it 4K kind of, so the quality's better, so
I'm
I'll
gonna
have to
wait
buy
for
the
the
rest of
4K.
them. Yeah, I mean they've come out. I mean GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies and The Living Daylights, they're all on 4K, and I got them.
See, the other problem too is, so I showed you I got the Superman collection. This was also another impulse buy the other day.
Yeah. What's that? I can't even read it.
Oh,
What is it?
McHale's Navy.
I don't know what that is.
It's
What is it?
basically a World War II comedy that was on in the 50s and 60s with Ernest Borgnine, Tim
Oh, right.
Conway from Carol Burnett, and Joe Flynn, who was in a bunch of the Disney movies
Oh, okay.
with Kurt Russell in the 70s, I believe it was.
Never
But that
heard of
was
it, unfortunately.
it's a 21 DVD set.
Oh.
Well, again, it's like Horses and Fools. I had never heard of it until
Fools,
I started
Fools and
talking to you
Horses.
guys. Right.
That is one of those TV. It's gone down in history because it was very popular.
I'm still trying to get into it.
Well, the thing is, though, it's very British, and if you don't understand that kind of tone of comedy, then you're not really going to get it. I mean, like I remember when the first time I watched Seinfeld, and I thought my brother said you should watch this; it's really funny. I remember watching, I was thinking this isn't funny at all, and then I saw one episode that made me laugh. Then I got the humor, so it just took one episode.
So Max basically says, "I see your McHale's Navy and raise you Sergeant Bilko. I would love to get Sergeant Bilko." Oh, you've heard of that one?
Yeah. They used to play it.
Not the Steve Martin one.
Nope, not that one. Phil Silvers, fantastic, absolutely.
Love Phil Silvers.
Every episode's funny. There's not one episode I didn't laugh at.
You see more than I have, then.
Yeah, they're great.
They are, and I mean that's the thing that I love. I mean, like my favorite comedian probably is Jack Benny. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I am familiar with him, but I haven't really seen a lot of Jack Benny. I've seen a couple of sketches with him in it, and I think he's like we had a comedian over here like Jack Benny. I can't remember his name though, but yeah, black and white, very English.
Well, he was into radio before TV. And I used to listen to him all day because they had the old time radio shows on CDs, and I was able to copy it over to iTunes. So I have like 800 some MP3s of the Jack Benny radio program from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And I would sit and listen to it for 8 hours a day and loved it. So I mean,
yeah,
I'll try to find one for you. I mean, that stuff's free on the internet now. So
Jack Benny. Right, as anyway, I said, yeah.
Now going back to Bond, I figure that's why we're here.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I stopped taking notes maybe about a third of the way through it, just because it's like.
Sorry, you went because it's like what?
I'm just looking. I'm looking at my watch. It's like, okay, how much closer are we to the 2 hours and 40 minutes? It's like, come on, let's get on with it.
As I said, it was when the film had finished, because I was in a packed cinema. Everybody just got up, and it was like somebody had died. Of course, Bond had died, and I remember coming out of the cinema.
Yeah, but somebody came out of our cinema saying that was totally worth it.
Well, that's, there are people that like this film, but I can only speak for myself, and the experience that I had watching it is that everybody was just dead silent at the ending, and I remember watching For Your Eyes Only, and the ending with the woman that played Margaret Thatcher. The whole crowd was laughing, and people were, clapping, and then when the credits go up, everybody was clapping. I said, when was the last time you saw that in a Craig film? Never. In fact, all the Craig films are just kind of. What can I say?
How do they bring him back? I mean,
well, they're going to reboot it, aren't they?
So it's going to be a totally new.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
new canon.
Yeah, 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 it's going to be.
Eh,
And plus, Daniel Craig produced these films, didn't he? He's one of the producers,
yeah, I
and he
saw
was,
his name on
mm,
that.
and
Well,
he was
Gary
he.
did have a. Well, I was just gonna say Gary had a
Mm,
good point about the nanobots. It's like the guy has an EMP in his
mm,
watch,
his
and he
watch,
can't
yeah.
can't fry the nanobots. And do we even have nanobots now?
I don't know. I really don't know if they do, but it seems like a stupid plot as far as I'm concerned. How comes you can't get rid of them? That's
Yeah, I
just
mean, and it's like I forgot about the whole. He has what was her name? Meredith or Samantha or
the his girlfriend.
yeah,
I can't remember her name. Mopey, I call her.
blonde girl,
Yeah, that's it.
blonde girl. But I
But
mean, I
why?
forgot that Remy basically said he had her thing in his hand.
But why? Why did Remy Saffron let the little girl go?
I don't know. I think it's the little girl might not comply. Might have been
So,
more pain than it would have been worth.
and also, right? See, these things don't make any sense when you look at it carefully, right? So he lets the little girl go, and he's with his men, and they're going somewhere to get off the island or
Yeah.
something like that. Well, how comes when Bond gets to open the shutters, he's there? So he decides to go and leave the island. Then he comes back for what?
Well, and the thought that I had, it's like, okay, a Bond movie doesn't end without the death of the villain. So when is he going to show up?
Yeah, but why did he come back? That's my question. He was leaving with all his armed men and stuff, and he lets the little girl go. "Oh, if you don't want to comply, you can go." And she goes for some unknown reason. Then he walks off with all these men. So I just assumed he was going to get off the island because he knew they were going to, fire the missile stuff to be safe. But then Bond comes in and he's there. What is without his men?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? Bond shoots his men and then he runs off. You'd think that he, vacate the area, but he doesn't. He's there again with no protection. I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense. At least when Goldfinger got killed, he got sucked out of a plane, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? And he had a reason to be there to kill Bond, didn't he? And he actually was on the plane because he made himself go on the plane to kill Bond. But this
Yeah.
guy makes I said, two people are too busy looking at the action to actually look at what's actually happening on screen, and it doesn't make any sense. If somebody has a reason why he let the little girl go and a reason why he didn't get off the island, please let me know, because maybe I'm missing
Well,
something.
then the thing is, okay, the guy Bond finds the bunny, and then we're thinking he's going to reunite with the girl and give the bunny back, but then maybe that's a trap to think, because we don't expect him to die right away.
But
I
also,
don't know.
nor do I. Also, the fact that they go in there and so basically he kills all of Spectre because they killed his family. Saffron kills Spectre because they kill his family. So job done. He's achieved what he went out to have revenge on Spectre, and he's killed them all. So why is he going to fire the nanobots? Why is he going to do that?
I don't know. Cut down on population, save the earth.
I don't know either. You see, as I'm saying, if you have to guess, then that means the script is bad.
I mean, the Russian bad guy before he met his death, making the comment to Lashana about how wiping out a certain race.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But why though? That's what I'm saying. And also, why has he got a face that looks a bit like a pizza? A bit. What happened to him?
I think I keep thinking like Phantom of the Opera with white mask and that. But no, I agree. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him.
That's what I'm saying. The script is really bad.
Actually, didn't they say it was something when the family was poisoned? Wasn't that the scarring that happened because of the poisoning?
You see, Father, if you have to use the word "is it" or "if," Do you know what I mean? That means the script hasn't delivered on its promise,
Well,
which is to make it
I don't want to sit through it again to find out.
I'm just saying, I don't want to see it again. Maybe somebody can tell me where I'm going wrong with this, but those are the things that stuck out when I was first watching it. That's the thing. Why have that scene where the mother is on the sofa smoking and she's going, "Mummy, blah blah blah." Like 2 minutes of that. Why?
Mommy's an
Why have
alcoholic
that?
drunk.
And what difference would it make if she wasn't an alcoholic drunk?
Right.
It would have made no
Right.
difference, would it? If he
Right.
came in, if she was talking to her and she was making her breakfast, he came in, he shot her, she escaped, then she shoots him and runs out. That would have been faster. And also would still made the point of him saving her life or whatever, wouldn't it? Why
Right.
drag it out where the mother's drunk and she's smoking and she's lying on the thing and she goes up the stairs and you're sitting there going, well, come on, I'd just move it along, please. That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense to me. The direction doesn't make any sense to me why you would have that. As I said, if you look at Goldfinger, which Goldfinger is probably one of the best James Bond films ever made, everything that happens in that film is done for a reason.
Yeah.
James Bond blows up that place because he was trying to stop a drug dealer. He makes love to the girl because she's there and she's available, but it was a trap because somebody was going to kill him. He lets her get smacked in the head, and then he throws the guy in the bath and electrocutes him. And then that's the beginning. Then Goldfinger starts, the music starts and stuff. So it all makes sense. But this doesn't make any sense. Actually, it does, but it's stupid. He wants to kill the family. He lets the girl run out in the ice, and he saves her. Why? Why does he save her? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and there was the other thing where I don't know if it was the New York Post was making the comment. It's like the guy never aged.
No, yeah, he did. Thing is, though, Rami's about 40 years old, isn't he? He just looks. Well,
and that was the other thing too they mentioned. But I mean, it's just he doesn't. I mean, you could tell that it's like the added fat or whatever they did for the scarring. You could tell where it began and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the makeup was very good.
Yeah, if you're gonna have scarring, you either go all the way or you don't. And they didn't really go all the way with that makeup, did they? I don't know why. But I mean, as I said, go on. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they didn't really do a good job of explaining the poison in the water or whatever it was that caused people. I mean, you kind of inferred it was acid or something because they're wearing the suits and all that.
But that's what I'm saying. It makes no sense, does it? I mean, M gets the two 007s to storm the castle. What kind of a boss would let two people go up against an army? You wouldn't, would you? You'd go, look, you know what, Ray? I'm gonna bring in the first army to help you. Why would you do that?
It appears that the Prime Minister knows nothing of what this weapon is.
Yeah.
And Q or M seems desperate to try to limit knowledge of it.
Yeah. But at the ending, the rest of the world knew knowledge of it because the Americans and the Russians were coming in to blow up the place anywhere. Were coming in, weren't they? And he couldn't tell them anything, and it was ridiculous. As I said, why would you send two people up against an army? Because he had an army there, didn't he? Why would you do that? Mm-hmm. Unless he thinks Bond is so great that one man can take out an army.
I will say they said. You only live twice. They sent an army with Bond.
Exactly.
As they're storming the place.
Yeah, they didn't send Bond on his own, did they? They sent him with Tanaka's army. Tanaka went in with his ninjas. They went in there to take down Blofeld, didn't they? And that's exactly what they did.
I think that's my second favorite Bond or second favorite Connery film.
Oh, really?
Goldfinger first, and then that.
I love the posters that they had out in those days. They're fantastic, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the posters for this stuff is just—it's
dull. It's dull. It's trying to show you it's James Bond. He's serious now, and it's like, well, no, you can find the balance. Just find the balance, and we'll all be fine with it.
Yeah.
And And I don't like this Q fella. I just think, there's no
No, I
fun.
don't care for him either. Like I said, bring
Yeah.
back John Cleese.
I don't really like John Cleese either, but um,
He's better than what there is now.
we were talking. I was talking on a stream. I can't remember which one it was, but we were talking. Who would you cast as Q today if you were making a Bond film? And somebody interestingly said maybe it could be a woman, and I thought, nah, I don't want a woman. But then I thought maybe maybe who's the girl that who's the oh, what's her name? It's gone out of my head now. Not Judy Dench, but Dame Helen Mirren would probably make a good Q, I reckon. She'd probably get. She'd
Yeah,
probably
but
be good.
she'd be corny.
I know. I don't know. I just like the idea that if you are going to cast a woman as Q, it would be an older woman that has a certain amount of energy and command. Because, like it or not, sorry.
No, that's what I liked about Cleese was, I mean, it was the older Cleese, and he had the sense of humor to bring with it.
But
like
unfortunately, yeah, but unfortunately, it was a really bad film he was in. It was terrible, and it was the end of Pierce Brosnan as we know it because the film was so bad. Yeah. Invisible Car, I rest my case, But if I was to, if somebody suggested Helen Mirren to play Q, that would be. I think that's a good idea personally. If you were going to if you were going to gender swap, I think she'd be absolutely brilliant as Q. Personally, she's got the command because Q. I think he was in the army, wasn't he, or something like that, and he knows about weapons and stuff like that. So, and also he did tell off Bond a lot of times, didn't he, to try and make him bring back the stuff in one piece. Yeah, but I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. I'll be honest. I don't know if I really want to see a reboot.
Well, I want to see a Bond film. As far as I'm concerned, we've had how many years? 7 to 8 years of non Bond films. As far as I'm concerned, I really want to see a real. Yeah, I want to see a real James Bond film now, and I obviously don't want it to be corny as hell. I want them to find the balance between what we love and what's new from today. If you know what I mean. So that's what I want. And Bond is a fantasy figure. He's for males that want to be him, females want to be with him. If you take that element away from Bond, he's not Bond. He might as well just be a genetic. He might as well just be Steven Seagal.
Although with today's news about how Superman's son is now bisexual, who knows? Women want to be with him, and so do men.
It's absolute rubbish, isn't it? You got to admit. It's absolute nonsense that this is, why does sexuality have to play in our pop culture stuff? Why does it have to play in it? Why should it play in it?
So I'm making a trip next week. We're having our church carpets cleaned because we're going to be hosting confirmation. Well, we're hosting confirmation coming up in a month. So the bishop's coming. So we're getting the church ready for that. It's probably been 10 years since the carpet's been cleaned. So one of the things they have to do is let the carpet dry for a few days after that. So I'm going to get away for a few days. Comic book store is having their biannual half off sales. So I don't know if I even have it. I have it here. One of the comics I bought earlier this summer. I mean, look at the Mr. I can't even pronounce the name, but I love the way they portrayed him back then in the 60s and 70s. It's like, why am I going to pay $4 for an SJW piece of crap when this was $13 here? That's 100 pages. This is from the either late 60s or early 70s.
The thing is, though, they're bringing out these comics, and hardly anybody's buying them. But it doesn't seem to bother them that nobody's buying them, and but I don't understand the logic behind that. You usually make something, if you want to sell them, you hope that a lot of people buy them. So this doesn't make any sense to me. I really am at a loss. But the one thing I can say is that this is not my world anymore. This is, I'm basically of age, and I'm kind of, heading towards, out basically. And so this is their world now, my niece's, my nephew's world, and it's up to them. But I always say to them, because they ask me about this stuff, and I don't really discuss it with them because I believe there's no way of actually making them see sense. But I always say to them, if you are going to like this stuff, do yourself a favor and learn about the both sides of the coin. Don't just
Yeah.
accept what they're teaching you in school. Try and find out what the other side is, and then make it a decision where you want to stand. Because if you don't see the other side, you're not going to make the right decision.
Well,
You know,
today is
so
a good example. In America, today is Columbus Day.
uh-huh.
And Columbus has been villainized over the last few years
But did he
as an
discover
evil.
America?
He does discover America, but depending on which school of thought you want to subscribe to, he's either a real bad slave master who abused the people and everything, or he was sincere in his attempt to try to bring Christ to the people. Well, it's one or the other. It can't be both. And both say, well, they have these sources on either. I don't. Screw it.
You don't. But I'm just saying that. But what is the truth, though? That's the question.
Exactly.
But the thing is, though, you've got to, if it means a lot to, if something like that means a lot to people, they have to try and investigate and come to some conclusion. Investigate as much as they can, obviously, and come to some conclusion. Obviously, you can just ride on faith and alone, but majority of the time I have a problem with that. Yes, I do have faith, but I think that if I'm going to cross the road, I'm going to look both ways. I'm not going to rely on God to take me across the road. Do you know what I mean? So that's the thing. Yeah. So that's the thing with faith. You've got to use your common sense with faith. Yeah, that's what I think.
There's one other thing. I know I figured we go for an hour, but you were mentioning before we went live Ghostbusters. So that was one of the. Well, I'll just say I wrote down the trailers they showed at my theater. First was Moonfall. The House of Gucci, which I could care less.
Yeah.
Moonfall, which actually looks really good.
What's that about?
It looks like the moon is going to be crashing into the Earth. It has something Bailey in it.
All right, something happy then.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like a good old disaster film.
All right.
But then they showed Ghostbusters and Dune, and then there was like a PSA with the Eternals. Please turn your phone off. Which screw them.
Yeah.
But so, what was your thing of Ghostbusters?
I want to see the Ghostbusters. I don't want to see kids. I'm probably in the minority here, and everybody's excited about these new Ghostbusters. So. A lot of people are, and I think it probably is going to be an okay film, but I still think it's ignoring the main problem, which is give us the Ghostbusters. It's not going to give us the Ghostbusters. Majority of the film is going to be these kids who, I know they keep saying that they're going to pass the torch and all that stuff, but I think this is the wrong way to do Ghostbusters. Personally, I think what they should do is
kind of hard to think they're going to pass the torch from middle-aged people, or at least what they were when it started, to like a 14-year-old.
I personally, if I was in charge, if the studios came to me and said, right, we want you to make Ghostbusters, what's your idea? My idea would be, the original Ghostbusters is at the funeral of Egon. He's dead. Something happens and they have to investigate. But they realize that they're of age, so they put an advert out to get new people in, and we just scout out some of the comedians of today and make them become Ghostbusters, which is the original idea of Ghostbusters. Make it scary as well as comedy, because because the original Ghostbusters is a horror comedy, so make it kind of scary as well, together with the comedians of today. And then at the ending, they pass the torch, and maybe Dan Aykroyd can stay and supervise them like he's the M of the Ghostbusters, telling them where to go, and he's got the knowledge of everything if they do make a second one. Do you know what I mean? Because we know Bill Murray's not going to stick around,
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what I would have done, and I think a lot more people will be happier about, because who are the comedians of today? You've got who's someone that you find funny? Sorry?
That's kind of a hard one to list.
I know. Well, that's the thing, you see. Who's big in America now, comedian-wise?
See, they would say they would say like Kate McKinnon, who was in the Ghostbusters 2016. They,
Mm.
if you were looking at women, they would say the ones that were in 2016 because Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon. I honestly don't think she's funny.
No, she's not.
What's her name? The brown-haired girl,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just you look to Saturday Night Live, and the Saturday Night Live cast is not funny anymore.
But what I'm saying is that there must be comedians of today that can can become the new Ghostbusters. There must be. I mean, you know,
Now,
you
I gotta
you know,
ask PJ if he's seen Undercover Brother because Dave Chappelle was in Undercover Brother,
he
and
was.
that was a really good movie.
I don't know. I just think I want the Ghostbusters. I don't want kids as the Ghostbusters personally. You know, I really don't.
I
And
mean, I could see like a 17-year-old, but I mean, the girl looks like she's probably 14,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I just can't. I don't know. I'm going in with a lot of hope, but
Mm, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it more than I mean, I'll go see it. I had no desire to go see the Ghostbusters 2016. I mean, I saw the trailer for that. I've seen the trailer for the new one. I didn't
Mm.
want to see 2016. I want to see this one. So,
And but with this with the girl version of Ghostbusters, they killed off Bill Murray. Bill Murray came in and he played a
oh
character
yeah,
that was, and they killed him
and
off.
they really treated all the original as crap.
Yeah, they did, and and if you and that's why I keep saying to people, if you can't see what's happening now, then more fool you. Keep watching those films, and one day you're going to get it. One day you're going to go, they've killed that person, and they've killed that person in the other film, and the other film, and the other film. You're going to get it one day, you know. But you know, I can't
I'm
really.
surprised they even signed up for the 2016 version.
I think it was under. I think they were under contract. I'm not really sure through the
Oh, that'd
Ghostbusters
be
film in
bad.
itself. I think so. But I mean, you know, the first person, if I was going to make a Ghostbusters 3, the first person I go to is Dan Aykroyd. I go, Dan, you know, how do you see this since you're the creator of Ghostbusters? And then come to some kind of compromise. Because I'll tell you one thing, I would never have kids in Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters are the Ghostbusters. We want to see the Ghostbusters, you know? And I don't want to see kids. I really don't. I don't want to see them at all. I want to see Bill Murray. Don't care how old Bill Murray is. I want to see him as Venkman. I want to see Winston Zedmore. I want to see them, you know. We will see
I will
them.
say, somewhat similar but different movie.
Mm.
Zombieland. Did you ever watch that?
I saw the first one, yeah. I didn't see the second one.
Got to watch the second one because Bill Murray goes into a little bit more when the zombie things occur.
But the thing is though, he got killed in the first one. So how
Right, but
comes
the
he's
second
alive in
one,
the second one?
well, the second one, Bill Murray in the second one is before everybody became a zombie. He's there when the zombie things start to come
Oh yeah.
to life.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it just shows him dealing with it and killing people.
All right, okay.
But I mean,
Okay.
I admit it's a guilty pleasure. I love Zombieland, both 1 and 2.
I like Zombie. I haven't seen the second one, but I like the first one. And I thought it was very funny in parts. But yeah, so I mean, I mean, comedies are very rare these days, aren't they? You know, when was the last time you laughed at a good comedy?
Well, it depends. I mean, I enjoyed The Kingsman.
That's not a comedy.
Elton John, Elton John and Kingsman 2 basically dropping F bombs.
I haven't seen Kingsman 2. I saw the first one.
Oh,
I think that was enough for me, the first one, personally.
I gotta say, I did enjoy the second one.
Oh, you did? As I said, I don't know. As I say, the comedies are very rare these days, aren't they? Because everybody's scared of making jokes. They're rare.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd have to think. I can't list it offhand because usually I'll buy the DVD if I really love the movie, and I don't think I bought a comedy. I don't know the last time I bought a new comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the comedies I have are the older ones.
Yeah. The funniest comedy I've ever seen, or the funniest comedy film I've ever seen, is Aeroplane. That made me laugh from start to finish because that's my
Producers.
humor. What's that?
The
Oh, the
producers,
producers is funny. The original, right?
right? The
Yeah,
movie
with
version was garbage.
oh, right, okay, okay.
Now I saw
Um,
the musical on Broadway,
oh, okay, okay.
and I
Well, that's
loved
not
it.
a film.
I loved it. But then when they brought the original cast back to make the movie of the Broadway show, it's like they were trying to milk it because they have done the show so many times. They know the lines that are going to hit, and they kind of tried to milk it out for the laughter and everything. And it just
Yeah.
wasn't as good.
No. Well, I said I didn't mind the film. I thought the film was quite amusing. I do like Mel Brooks stuff. Mel Brooks in his prime was pretty funny. I mean, Young
Mhm.
Frankenstein's hilarious, and what is it?
Even though
Silent Pit.
Dan hates Blazing Saddles,
Yeah, Blaze Saddles. Yeah, what is it? Silent Movie. Thought that was very
silent
funny
movie,
as well. Yeah,
Spaceballs. And then he did a
Spaceballs.
remake. He did a remake in '83 of Jack Benny's 1930 something film, To Be or Not to Be, which
Oh,
takes place in World War II Poland.
yeah, yeah. I saw it once, but I can't remember it. The only bit I remember is the Ten Commandments scene that made me laugh so much.
That
But
was
that's the
History
only
of the
bit.
World.
Oh, that was his, or was it? Oh, but that's the film I saw. Then I didn't see that one then.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that made me laugh. History of the World.
So
But he's very funny though, isn't he?
he is. He is.
And
And they turned Young Frankenstein into a musical, and I haven't seen it yet.
well, I've turned Back to the Future in the musical, and it's just open over here. So I
That's
don't know
just
to.
wrong.
I don't know whether
It's
to see it
wrong.
or not. The two guys that
No.
got to play Marty and Doc, they do a really good impression of them. They really do. But I
Yeah, but
saw,
I don't want to see that.
yeah, well, I probably won't.
I
But
will say the one. Have you ever seen Epic Rap Battles in History?
no, no.
I'll send it to you. They
No.
do a rap battle between Doc Brown and Doctor Who, and
Okay,
that
that sounds
actually was
fun.
pretty good. So, well, with that, I think we'll start wrapping up. Any last
Okay.
thoughts?
N- Uh,
How many stars do you give? How many stars do you get? Time to Die.
three, three. It's there's some great action moments in there,
Three
but
out of
apart from
four or
that,
3 out of 5?
3 out of 10, mate.
Oh, 3 out of 10.
10, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Again, I mean, it's just there's so much potential, but they just dragged it on for so bleeding long. It's hard
Mm,
to say.
yeah.
Let's see, Max with the Kentucky Fried Movie. I've seen part of it, but I've not seen the whole movie from start to finish. There's a few skits in there that are really good.
Mm,
Rex Kramer, which I can't say the word here on YouTube because if I was monetized, I'd definitely get demonetized for it.
mm.
But anyway, that's another thing. So I do want to thank Ian for joining me. Really good to have this talk.
No worries.
We'll figure another stream sometime soon.
Yeah. But
And
I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy the film.
I didn't not enjoy it. I mean,
No.
I wasn't blown away, but I didn't absolutely hate it.
Right. Right.
I mean, it was just a waste of time. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
No, I won't watch it again. I have no time for it.
So,
Yeah.
well, with that, I'm going to hit the end button. We'll catch everybody later.